What's good? What up? It's your boy Sam Ant here with viral hip-hop news. Do me a favor, family. Before we get started, go up top. You know what to do. Hit that like button for me. Alright, so I was going through my normal daily routine, and I came across an interview with my man Terry Crews that he had on Hot 97 this morning. And man, this was the kind of interview I needed to hear. I definitely had to give my 1-2 on the piece. He went on in great detail regarding the NFL, athletics, young black athletes in sports and in music and just the entire game in itself. And they definitely went in about the NFL and college sports. It's a must hear. I'm going to play a little bit of audio of that interview this morning, and then I'm going to come back with my 1-2 regarding what he said, the NFL, collegiate sports, and how it translates to our young people and how we automatically think we got to jump to the pro sports or the music to gain success. So I'm going to play a little bit of that now. Y'all check that out. Enjoy it. I'm going to come back with my 1-2. Here we go.
Exactly.
What year is this, by the way? Sorry, what year?
This was 91 through 97.
91, 97.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago last time I played.
Would you be kneeling right now if you were in the NFL?
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. First of all, I totally get the fact that, hey, man, it's about the soldiers who fought and bled and died. But what they got to understand is that you're talking about this is 70% of the NFL is African American. This is about the slaves who worked and bled and died,
and people who are still bleeding.
We're talking about something that just can't be wiped under the table. See, it's wild because if a major crime has been committed, if there's been rape, if there's been murder, if there's been pillage, you can't come to even the grandson of that person who's been murdered and say, come on, man, get over it. How could you do that?
Right.
Like, what kind of how insensitive could you be? I mean, I would never walk up to a Holocaust survivor, his family, his grandson, and be like, get over it, dude. What are you talking about? Like, it just sends goosebumps right down my spine, the insensitivity, the lack of empathy. And you're talking about a business that's 70% African-American working for you. Like, you can't do that. It's so wild. And I look at, now this is the thing. The way it is, it's kind of like Donald Trump walked into a Mandingo fight and told them they all need to bow down to the owner of the house.
Now, if you don't...
God damn, some powerful words from Terry Crews. He was not playing any games. Now, if you don't know his history, this is a former NFL player, played for the league for 7 years. He was talking about that prior to the conversation about kneeling. He played for numerous teams, a bunch of teams, and he knows the business. All right, he knows the nature of the game. He knows the business, and he was asked if he were to kneel, if he were playing now, would he kneel? And he absolutely said, hell yeah, he would. Now, when he alluded to Trump talking about him watching a Mandingo fight. Now, if you don't know what Mandingo is, Ebro's about to allude to it. I'll get into that a little bit. It's basically when you had your bucks, which were your big male slaves back then, your breeders, your workhorses. They would fight them for sport. And you'd have all your slave masters sitting around and throwing bet on what Mandingo would be. The Mandingo, well, a lot of people, especially a lot in your older school, in the older days, would translate that and compare that to football. When you got a league that's 70% African-American and you have nothing but white owners and a lot of ownership strictly being white, it almost compares to be the same. So that's an interesting dichotomy when he said that. I'm going to go into a little bit of the 1-2 when he started talking about how his life changed and when he got into acting and how it seems like almost this, our youth being African-American youth, the windows for opportunity only seem to fall in athletics or music or acting. He gets into a little bit of that. I'm going to drop that knowledge real quick, get back to my 1-2 in the back, and then we'll finish this up. Let's go.
The NFL has an abusive relationship with its players. It's an abusive relationship. It's like a pimp and a prostitute. It's really, you never know if you really good. You know what I mean? They could like, they give you a smack one day and the next day you're the best thing ever. These players are like, okay, what do I today? Am I good? Or could I be out tomorrow?
No guaranteed contract.
There's no guaranteed contract. Do you understand? So the whole thing is, you see, people think, oh man, he has $100 million contract. But if they cut you
don't get it.
On game one out of 100, you get $1 million. You got $100 million deal for 100 games. But if they cut you right after that, it stops there. And NBA doesn't do that. NHL doesn't do that. Major League Baseball doesn't do that. It's a whole different dynamic. It's an abusive relationship. You know why? Because they know you're going to get hurt.
Exactly.
It's
built into the game.
It's built in. So you're talking about it's an abusive relationship from the start. Okay, so now that we deal with that, and my big thing is I go back to tell players and give them perspective. I'm like, guys. Football is a very, very small part of your life. But what's happened is you are tricked. The carrot is always dangled. And this is what the magic thing is. They dangle this carrot and you're jumping for it because they tell you it's the biggest thing in the whole world. But dude, first of all, when I retired, I thought my life was over because I said, man, nobody is going to hire me. This is all I wanted to do.
How much did you make?
Am done.
How much money did you have when you
I
quit?
didn't. I was a special teamer, so I topped out at about $300,000.
Okay, so you had a couple $100,000 in the bank, maybe?
Exactly, and then that went very quickly. So I was broke. Okay,
Yeah.
but the deal was, I saw the success afterwards as an actor, and then I went to. I go to South Africa. I'm on Sunday morning. I'm looking for NFL scores. I can't find them.
No one cares.
I go to Brazil, and I'm on Sunday morning. I can't find NFL scores. I go to Hong Kong. I can't find the NFL anywhere else in the world. I'm in Europe. I can't find it. Dude, it's a trick. No one else cares about the NFL. But you would think that
It's
the
everything.
whole world cares. And they trick everybody into thinking it's all about this. And it even starts at the NCAA level. When you're talking about billions of dollars changing hands, and brothers are totally, they get these guys with bad relationships with their family, no dads, the whole thing. Now the NCAA is your father, okay? And you can't get no money. We can't pay you, but you see, your coach has a $4 million shoe deal, okay? You're talking about massive exploitation of specifically African Americans, and you gotta go, hey man, like, okay, we can't get none of that money. First of all, the fact that you can say, well, that means you're amateur. But look, you can pay me, if you pay me $10,000 to play baseball, I would still suck. The only thing that determines amateur and professional is skill level. It ain't matter about money. It ain't about the money. Courage to just go out there. Because there's so many athletes who now, when they're done, they get depressed and they're out. Because the thing is, NFL athletes, NBA athletes, what happens is you become your wins. You are now bigger, better than everybody. But when you lose and when you out, now you're worse than everybody. And you need, and I always got to tell these guys, that has nothing to do with your worth as a human being, period. And that's my message to all these athletes, that your life starts when the game is over, y'all. And the thing is, not one NFL owner got there by playing football. Not one. You can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the people who are owning it and running it, they didn't play.
Wow.
And I'm trying to tell you, that's not your only way to riches.
Dope ass interview. That was just a small clip. I'm going to leave a card up right now to the full interview on Hot 97 with Terry Crews and Ebru and the Hot 97 crew in the morning. It was a real informative interview. Like I said, I just dropped a few small clips of that interview. He went on into great detail a lot more. This brother's busy, man. He's had over 600 hours on television, numerous fucking movies. He's paid. He's doing what he loves to do. He's 49 years old, probably at the best time of his life. And it definitely has to give people like us motivation, man. That it's interesting because, like I said, when we grow up, only thing and the only outlet we seem to get out of, or the only way of success, is through pumping some kind of athletic ball or singing or rapping or doing some kind of record. And when you look at it, and when you really look at the dichotomy of it, those two professions, none of them lead to any real wealth. None of them lead to any serious wealth. Yes, you get that small-time claim, you get the fame, you get the notoriety, you get the things put on credit, the cars, the jewels, the houses, yada, 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 but you don't gain any kind of financial wealth. And at the end of it, you work so hard, you come from nothing. Work, only for that to get ripped the fuck away. And for the cycle just to go back to the vicious place that it originated. It's terrible, man. We have to look at it. And it starts at home. It starts early. It starts in school. Us now running to those athletics or running to the music to necessarily think that that's the way out. Now, we can do it because we love it. I'm a musician myself, so this definitely hits home. when you look at it and you look at just the game and what it is, and am I gaining wealth from this? What am I really trying to gain out of this? Do I want the fame, the notoriety? Do I care what motherfuckers say, or do I want wealth so that my kids can take out of it? On some 444 shit, you feel me? So shout out to Terry Crews. Shout out to the interview, man. I'm going to start doing more shit like this. Y'all leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think of the commentary as well as what Terry Crews said. Always appreciate y'all. Do me a favor. Go down to the description box right now and subscribe to the fastest and hottest rising channel on YouTube to date, Viral Hip Hop News. Also, while you're down there, go down to our Twitter handle, which is also in the description box, and subscribe to our Twitter at Viral Hip Hop News. And one more thing, go to our homepage, hit that bell 2 times to get all the latest notification at Viral Hip Hop News soon as it drops. Always keeping it raw, real, uncut. If it's up to the people, it is viral. Viral Hip Hop News. Subscribe right now.
Oh, what a wonderful feeling. What a feeling to be winning. Hip hop. Feeling to be revolution. Feeling to be. Oh, what a wonderful feeling. What a feeling to be winning. Fuck y'all. What a feeling to be.